Minibots complete. Actually, not quite. Hello and welcome to another episode of Stories from the Toy Shelf Unscripted. And as you can see before me are the 6 original Minibots. So, Windcharger just arrived a few weeks ago, and basically, we finally have a sort of complete lineup. We have a complete lineup of the original 1984 Minibots that started all the way in 2020 with Siege Cliffjumper. It's like 2026, so it's like we almost got one Minibot a year, but we finally have it. We finally have all 6, or do we? Well, anyway, I just thought that I would celebrate this little, completion goal by doing a quick video. And, the Thundercracker video got me cocky enough, so I said, why not, instead of just transforming one Transformer on video, let's do 6. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on the 6 Minibots that we have, if it was worth the wait, worth the squeeze, and so let's get started. Okay, so first up we have Siege Cliffjumper. So yeah, this was kind of a controversial release at its time because, like most Transformers collectors, before this guy was released, I think Hasbro had given us a fairly complete lineup of Minibots in the what do you call them, core class or the legend scale, which I thought worked with our deluxe class bigger Autobots. But so this new Cliffjumper was a deluxe, so it was kind of like a change in mindset where we had to come to grips with the idea that the Minibots were actually now being released as deluxe toys. But that out of the way, this Cliffjumper was pretty cool for the time, right? I mean, it's not the penny racer type, which is fine. I kind of like seeing Cliffjumper in a more realistic vehicle mode. And, well, I guess the other major controversial thing about it was a parts former. Now, wait, before we start transforming, so it came with this accessory, which was the big gun. In line with the parts forming nature, it could be disassembled to smaller guns, and then these things go in the bottom to form skis. For the car, which we had in that one episode of the cartoon, we don't need these. So the controversial thing about this guy was that he was a parts former, meaning, here we go. Okay, right out of the gate, I am messing up. Okay, so right out of the gate, I'm cheating, but whatever. So this was a parts former. So the entire back, which is held by his fists, doesn't actually form part of the robot. So let's see how this goes. If I remember, it's been a while. So yeah, so like I was saying, this was a kind of controversial release in the sense that in my head, Minibots were supposed to be smaller than the bigger cars, and so they weren't meant to be deluxes. But so yeah, that being said, it's a fairly involved transformation, right? So size aside, I feel that it justifies the deluxe pricing. But the other issue with this guy was that he wasn't exactly G1 accurate. So if you look at Cliffjumper in the cartoon, he had a different, I believe he had gray limbs, gray legs, gray arms. So this one is a little bit more, this one is a little bit more darker. And the chest, again, this is like nerd mode on, the chest isn't quite right. Like he's supposed to have the spoiler on top here. But yeah, for what it is, right? I mean, it was a decent attempt at the Cliffjumper. It did look good. It was a whole lot better than what we had prior, which was the smaller. I'll just get a picture of it and show it there. I keep forgetting the smaller size classes, but yeah. So it's a decent Cliffjumper, right? And then, like I said, the big gun. He can sport the big gun or tiny dual wield. Take out these, so you can dual wield. And so yeah, he's a decent Cliffjumper. I know there's another version which is more toon accurate in color, but I can't really be bothered to hunt it down, especially because Again, he was the first released in 2020, and as you'll see later on, he's kind of dated, especially next to. Okay, so are we going to do this in order? Yeah, we might as well. But okay, so I'll get back to Cliffjumper and the overall thing in the end. So yeah, Siege Cliffjumper. Next up, we have Huffer, Kingdom Huffer, released in 2020. I forget, but it was probably around 2021 or 2022. Let me know. But yeah, so I'm not the biggest fan of Huffer. I don't think, and I don't think I'm alone there. He was never the most popular Autobot. He was mostly characterized as a whiner. That being said, prior to this, all the other Huffer toys were usually like repainted Legends Optimus Primes. So none of them were really that accurate. So I could be wrong, but I think this is the first accurate Huffer. In fact, prior to this, I got a third-party Huffer from Mech Fan Ideas or something. They made their own Huffer and pipes, which that was my Huffer. But anyway, so Kingdom Huffer is probably the first official accurate-ish looking Huffer that Hasbro has made. And well, the truck doesn't look accurate, basically because, well, they added this truck bed which can be removed if you're a stickler for accuracy. There's Huffer as we remember him, and well, the cool thing about this is that these become his weapons, his gun and a shield with a claw. I don't know, but yeah, one thing I don't like about this truck, it just doesn't look straight, right? I mean, forget about the whole empty thing that you can see right through it, but like in general, it just doesn't look quite straight. But you know, whatever. So let's try and get this guy into robot mode. So the legs, these go around, form the feet, and let's see. Let's go in. Let's see. The wheels go in the back. And this one goes up, arms up, and I don't know, this is, oh, I guess that works. So yeah, pretty harmless. But yeah, like I said, he looks like an amped up version of Huffer. Huffer didn't look this cool. Sorry, you know what? I'm just gonna let the planes fly. For all those who don't know, I live next to an airport, and so flying planes overhead are a regular thing, and we get used to it. We've been here for 10 years, so, you know. Anyway, so yeah, he's got a shield now with a claw and his gun. So yeah, it's an amped up version of Huffer. It's accurate, and at least he looks formidable in this way. So yeah, it's an improvement to what I remember of Huffer. So there you go. Okay, so next up is Brawn. So this is the Studio Series released in 2023. And yeah, in case you're wondering, this is not the gun that comes with Brawn. So the toy that I got didn't come with a gun, so it must have fallen out, or the packager got lazy. But anyway, so yeah, so this is from Skids, I think, Thrilling 30 Skids, but it works just as fine. So Brawn is, for those who don't know, Brawn is my favorite of the original 6 mini-bots, or my favorite mini-bot in general. I just love the idea of like tiny dude who's like stronger than almost every other Autobot around. And yeah, so I was really excited to finally get this version. So prior to this, we've had a lot of smaller Brawns that just didn't quite fit the bill for me. I mean, we had that really tiny one that had like zero articulation years ago, and then Titan's Return, they gave us a Titan Master, which was kind of like a cop-out, but eventually they gave us an actual full Brawn that we could use, but he was still kind of small, and he was basically rendered useless once, you know, Deluxe Cliffjumper from Siege was released. So I'm quite happy that we finally got this version of Brawn. He kind of pretty much fits the bill of how I see Brawn. Like, I mean, he was kind of like the most controversial, I think, of all the original toys, because his vintage version looked so freaking scrawny, did not, you know, was not characteristic of what he was in the cartoon. So yeah, I'm just happy that we finally have a proper chug version of Brawn. Just go around the whole thing. Yeah, I guess that works. And yeah, I'm just happy to have this guy find the an appropriately sized Brawn for. Oh, sorry, this goes here, in the back, and there you go. And then his new weapon. So yeah, Brawn. And then we have Legacy Gears released in 2024. So Gears is one of those take it or leave it. You know, he's not as annoying as Huffer. I mean, he's a grump, but he's a charming grump. He's not a whiner like Huffer. I just, I never found his alt mode all that exciting, and like he has the weird head, which we'll get to later on. But yeah, as a kid, I actually had the toy of this guy, and growing up, he was kind of a favorite of mine because it was a cute toy. It was a cute. I mean, Gears was really small, and you could, all the mini bots you could keep in your pocket and stuff like that. But I just found the original Gears toy pretty cute. So I have a little soft spot for this guy, and yeah, he was just an all-around more entertaining character. I tend to lump him up with Huffer, and so like they were the two trucks. But I mean, Gears is just so much better. How does this work? Oh yeah, and then remember that episode where he lost his chip that made him the most cheerful Autobot ever. I mean, so cheerful that he would help Megatron. But anyway, yeah. So again, one of those things I was happy. Let's see, how does this go again? To finally get Gears. They just recently released a retro one, right? With the masked face. I was just I'm a bit scared because I was just transforming my, what was it, the latest Menasor, and I hadn't transformed it in months, and I broke off a couple of pegs. I don't know if the plastic just got brittle, but yeah, that sucks. So I'm kind of like iffy when forcing things right now. So, but anyway, that's a story for another time. So yeah, Gears, right? So again, he's kind of mid in the sense that I had him as a kid, so there's that nostalgic connection, but he had the weirdest head, right? It was just so odd. That being said, I loved his personality in the cartoon. I mean, who doesn't love a grump? So yeah, Gears. And of course, how can you forget Bumblebee? So this is the Studio Series 86 Bumblebee. And prior to this, I had the War for Cybertron one, which was basically the remold, the retool of this Cliffjumper. So I had that for the longest time. But again, I'm not the biggest fan of this design because of the parts forming. So when this version of Bumblebee came out, the other guy was out the door. And so obviously he has the more penny racer, look, which I think works. I mean, I'm not so particular with the alt modes because I have these guys displayed in robot mode, so it doesn't bother me that Cliffjumper is realistic, at least for now. Cliffjumper bothers me in other ways. That sounds funny, but yeah. So I know this specific Bumblebee has and it's not perfect, and it's not even a perfect bug, but for me, it works, right? It's got enough personality. And how does this go? It goes. It's got enough personality, and it's an overall. I mean, I'm hoping against hope that they will retool this into Cliffjumper. I mean, why would they not? It just has. Eesh. I'm having flashbacks of my Menasor breaking. I mean, my Menasor is okay, but it broke a peg or two, which was like really disheartening. And then that vent on the side of the head, one of them just snapped off. It's really sucked. But what can you do, right? Comes the brakes. Let's just go. Am I forgetting something? How does this head? This goes back like that, and there you go. And this turns, there you go. It's like muscle memory, trying to remember all these things, but yeah. So yeah, So non-parts forming Bumblebee, and yeah, he looks clunky, but I mean Bumblebee really is clunky to begin with. This Studio Series Bumblebee is supposed to be the ultimate version of Bumblebee for Chug, but I know other people would disagree. But for me, it's fine. And well, I might as well get to it now. So next to Cliffjumper, my issue with that is it's bigger than Cliffjumper, and for me, Cliffjumper is supposed to be bigger than Bumblebee. So I don't know about you. Are you a stickler for heights? Because like I'm a stickler for heights. So like case in point, Sunstreaker and Sideswipe. I've been dying to update my Sideswipe from the Takara version because it's too toy. It looks too much like the toy, and it doesn't fit with the cartoon Sunstreaker. So Bad Cube came up with one, which I found too tall. So I sold that. And then most recently, DX9. It's just also too tall. I need my twins to have to be the same size. Is anyone else like that? But yeah, so this B is bigger, right? He's taller, so that's a problem for me. So hopefully this guy will be replaced soon with a better version. And finally, in 2026, we have Windcharger, the guy who I feel is the most underappreciated and undervalued mini bot. He's always the one forgotten. He's always the one, released last. Case in point, we had to wait 6 years before Windcharger finally got his due. And to be fair, I think he's the best of them, and he benefited from it. But yeah, I mean, case in point, in the masterpiece Transformers, we're still waiting. I mean, we have one from X Transpots, and that's pretty much it. And he's so dated by now. And so Fans Toys has actually finally announced their Windcharger, but hopefully it'll come out in a few months. But so yeah, I feel Windcharger's always getting the shortest end of the stick. But at least for this version, yeah, I mean, it benefited him to be the last because, I guess Hasbro really got really good with their Minibot game. But so yeah, and it's a pretty cool transformation. But so yeah, so this is the Studio Series version of Studio Series 86, which is funny because he was in the movie. His corpse was in the movie, as you all know. RC was dragging it. He was dead already. So, but it earned him a cool toy. So, good for Windcharger. Yeah. Okay. So, this. So yeah. So Windcharger, he's often paired with Brawn, and he has the magnetic powers. Which, you know what? It's so weird because, okay, when you think magnetic powers, you think Magneto, and Magneto is probably one of the most powerful mutants or X-Men around. So you'd think having magnetic powers would be such a cool thing, and he would be featured a lot more with having such cool powers like that. But again, he's completely forgotten. But yeah, he came with this, which is his magnetic thing. He shoots out of his chest. You can store it in the back if you don't need it, which I don't. And a gun. So yeah, often overlooked, but at least he's had a good number of figures. He had a Legends version and a Scout version. I keep forgetting the names of all these smaller size classes, but you know what I mean if you collect the Transformers. And what I like about this guy, he's got this switch in the back that so you can make him look up. So which is cool. It's a nice addition. So yeah, better. Oh, another issue I have is the empty legs, but whatever, right? I'm not too much of a stickler for that. So better late than never, we have Windcharger. Okay, so I just realized that the original closing segment that I shot had no audio for some reason, but so I'm doing this again to close this video off properly. So first off, we have Cliffjumper from Siege, Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, and then we have, who else? Gears from Legacy, and Huffer from Kingdom. And then on the other side, we have Brawn from Studio Series 86, and finally Windcharger closing things up from Studio Series 86. So we have finally the 6 mini bots, the original ones from 1984. Hopefully, I'm praying against hope that we will get a new Cliffjumper, but for now, this dude will do. And yeah, so what are your thoughts on the mini bots? Who's your favorite of the 6? And are you happy with what Hasbro's given us? Having to wait 6 years? Well, anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and till the next video.